Susie, you may be muted. Hey, I am receiving the message that we are ready to begin.
Oh, there's a big noise feedback loop.
Oops, there we go. Yeah. Okay, how is that now? That's good. Okay. Excellent.
I had to turn off the music thing. My fault. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. So we just got a couple more people coming in here. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cosmic Conversations on the Conscious Awakening Network. I am Sarah, your host for the evening, and I am also the event coordinator with CAN. I am filling in for Sheila tonight because she is driving across country, and she is excited to be back with you on Thursday. But tonight I have the opportunity to welcome you and invite you to join our Ascension TV launch party on April 26th. It starts at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and it's free, and we will have amazing hosts providing presentations throughout the day, along with gifts of sessions, books, and all kinds of exciting things. So check it out at the Conscious Awakening Network to sign up, and I hope to see you there. So right now, I would like to introduce you to our amazing co-host for the month of April, Dr. Lisa Thompson, and our amazing guest for tonight, Viviane Chauvet, at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And it's free, and we'll have amazing hosts. Oh, oops, sorry. I was live streaming and listening to myself talk. Okay. Dr. Lisa Thompson is an internationally recognized bestseller, author, speaker, galactic ambassador, channeler, and intuitive transformational coach who bridges the worlds of science and spirituality. A lifelong experiencer of extraterrestrial contact, Dr. Thompson has established herself as a multidimensional channel, primarily the Arcturian Uluru. Did I say that correctly?
Not quite. Uluru.
Uluru. Thank you. She guides individuals and audiences through life-changing teachings that empower them to step into their higher purpose by embracing self-love, trusting their intuition, and overcoming fear to take inspired action. Lisa's reputation as an inspiring and transformative speaker has led her to the stages of prominent and spiritual metaphysical summits and conferences around the world. She has a weekly podcast called Connection to the Cosmos with Dr. Lisa Thompson, where she has out of this world conversations with extraordinary people. She has created 10 oracle decks. She loves teaching online classes and leads retreats in her home state of Hawaii. She also leads night sky watch UFO tours on the Big Island of Hawaii. And for more information about Dr. Lisa Thompson, visit www.drlisajthompson.com and bigislandUFOtours.com. And so Viviane, our guest tonight, is Galactic Ambassador, Universal Communicator, Intergalactic Teacher, published author, international speaker, host of Infinite Star Connections podcast, creator of the Arcturian Energy Matrix Healing and the Healing Arts Program, and founder of the Arcturian University for Universal Consciousness. And ladies, welcome.
Thank
you.
I'm going to hand it over to Lisa now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah, for those introductions. And Vivian, I am so excited for you to be here with me tonight. We are missing Sheila, our other Arcturian sister. However, we've got all this Arcturian yumminess that I cannot wait to dive into. So I would love for you to share with the audience kind of your origin story. How did you come to know your Arcturian heritage?
Yes, thank you so much, Lisa. Sarah, thank you again for this wonderful introduction. I agree. And of course, Lisa, good to see you again, and always a joy when we come across each other. And, you know, whether you come on my podcast, I come on yours, and here we are today on the Conscious Awakening Network. Definitely a big hello to Sheila, our beautiful Andromedan sister and galactic friend and beyond. So definitely, Sheila, you are with us. I know you'll be watching, so eventually, just so you know that you are definitely with us. Being an Arcturian, a beautiful Arcturian being is something that is very natural in the sense that I've always known that as a visitor going through this planet, I understood that I had embodied temporarily a hybrid human form to allow myself to be a part of a species known as the Earth human beings, and being able to be more effectively received, communicating with each other, being able to be relatable, either through my life experience here, understanding the challenges, understanding what is the emotional field, what does it mean, you know, to feel loss, grief, joy, expansion, limitation, and then we are going through these expansion and retraction together. So being boots on the ground, so to speak, as I mentioned that word before, it's really allowed me to relay more direct and sensitive, direct information, not only to my own Arcturian delegation, as many of us, depending on where we are deployed in the multiverse, but also working with many galactic alliances and star regency councils, or for example, we work very closely with the Great Central Council, the solar beings, whether it's the builders, you know, there's so many layers in the multiverse. So for me, speaking about who I am as an Arcturian is just as natural as talking about your story about, you know, your upbringing. Where did you grow up? What is your life story? How do you feel? So it's the same thing for me, but from a point where I can feel I am a visitor. I know that I'm temporarily assigned to this quadrant, the Earth quadrant. And this Earth quadrant is extremely important, not only for what Gaia represents, but also for there's so much diversity of life. There's so many also ancient souls who have returned. There's so many diversity of what you call star seed or soul consciousness or fractal of energy representing so many delegations or sentient life forms. So being an Arcturian for me is essentially who I am first. And I have learned to understand what it feels like and the adaptability through my human experience. And I am rediscovering a great many things in this world, on this planet, because I've had very few prior incarnations, or what we call soul time cycles on the planet. The interaction I remember the most is either observing the development of the planet, that I do remember, and the early stages, early on through Lemuria and Atlantis, when we were there as representative of the galactics. So I was interacting with the, let's say, the Atlantean and the other sentient beings who were there, the many council, whether it's the Mer people, the Dolphin nations, the Crystal nations, and all of this, that I have clear remembrance of. And then we did supervise a little bit the moving into the golden age of Egypt and other civilizations. But to be physically incarnated in a human form, I'm rediscovering. It's been a long, long time for me. And so being an Arcturian, this is who I am. This is how I see the world. It shaped my reality. It shaped my passion, my soul passion of what I do, my work, the way I interpret reality, the way I can see others, the way I can commune directly with the core consciousness of this planet and so many other life forms. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Gaia is just so diversified with an ecosystem of sentient life forms evolving within that ecosystem. It just really amazes me. And one thing I want to say again about Gaia is that, she is very hard to say no to. She is very convincing. She's very hard to resist. And when she plead, and I would attempt to make some of a humor joke when she battered her little eyelashes, it's hard to say no to Gaia. And so when she communicated with us a long time ago and knowing into the potential of her reascension timeline, I knew right away that we had to bring one of us through the Council of Light as an direct ambassador and emissary on the planet. And this is why I chose to embody literally this role. And I would say that being a human being is one of the most difficult, most challenging tasks I have ever taken. And I know that many of the old souls watching right now can relate to that. But directly as a nocturne being, where we come from a place of direct harmonic contemplation, we've already ascended so thousands of years ago, and living in this harmonic energies and coming back in such a step down dualistic fragmented illusionary paradigm is really challenging to readapt. And being able to maintain your connection to who you are and still being able to function in parallel with this reality. So definitely more effective this way. But the immense challenge is just I always I tell my Octane father, he knows that it's just a metaphor. I said, by the time I return in my original form and we finally return to our realm, one of the main home planet, I want a statue in my honor pointing to the earth like this to tell me that I was able to succeed in my mission. Again, it's just a metaphor, but they understand. And I can see I better have my statue in my honor. So many star seed, many watching of you, ask your star family that you're the brave one on the planet. So ask for your statue when you go back in your delegation, your home world, right?
I absolutely love that. And for those watching that might be confused about the difference of you being this fully embodied Arcturian versus a starseed versus Sheila, who is a walk-in, from your perspective, that higher perspective, what are those differences? So if someone's wondering themselves, and even a hybrid.
Absolutely. And thank you for walking me through this. Again, being who I am, it's natural for me, as natural as I breathe. This is who I embody. So sometimes I take for granted that those terminology can be clear. So wonderful. Let's explore together for a moment. So from our perspective, we define starseeds as a soul emanation of a soul that represent either another star systems, a planet, a galaxy, coming from even an interdimensional space, can be coming from a completely different multiverse or universe, and a fractal of that soul emanation as chosen to represent the unique frequencies in the light codes of that group. Let's say you're Sirians, let's pretend let's say you're Pleiadian, Venusian, from Alpha Centauri, and Andromedan, and that it's a very large umbrella because there's many different form of Andromedans. Whether you come from the celestial realm, especially as an angelic being, you can be also representing a fractal of that synergy. So it's very much a soul emanation that comes from another system, completely different aspect of living, representing one of the delegations. And that fractal of consciousness or that soul emanation has chosen to re-embody an incarnation in this life. So you will go through the birth process, your emanation, your soul will enter the body, and you will be born from, the earth parents here on the planet. So you go through, it's called a normal birthing or a normal way of it is recognized on this planet, way of returning to the body. And this is later on, usually when you're a star seed, there's a clear soul knowingness about yourself. There's something about either those are not my parents. I am been borrowed from somewhere else. There's a calling elsewhere. I can feel in my real parents or family are waiting for me. And my heart has always been in the stars. I can always feel like an outcast. I'm like the black sheep of my family. There's so many attributes that when you're a star seed, you speak of, and there's a soul knowingness right at the beginning. One time someone reached out to my website and says, I'm ready to become a star seed. What is the procedure? And I said, well, what a noble question. And I want to acknowledge that. What a noble question. The thing about being a star seed is you're one. It's not something you can apply a certification like Reiki or crystal healing that you become a practitioner. You are a star seed because this is part of your soul blueprint. This is who you are. So again, a soul emanation representing either another star delegations or a star system, or definitely you come from a completely different place in the multiverse, and there's this knowingness within you. Of all ages, we honor star seeds from all generations, and it's really beautiful. We really honor their service to Gaia and life and light here. Hybrid is a very huge umbrella. It is as huge as the word healing. Why? It really is. Because hybrid is just, it's a bridge. It's an umbrella that can be applied in many ways. For example, some people ask me in an interview, well, wouldn't you say that we're all hybrids? And I would say to a certain perspective, yes. However, with the understanding what is the differences, because there's 50 shades of hybrid aspect. It's very, very diversified. It's not one size fits all. So from a civilization perspective, because human beings are galactic royalties due to the rich genetic heritage that you have in your DNA, you may be perceived in that sense as hybrid race. However, the human beings have still evolved on this planet. There's more of an attachment, connections to the atmosphere, to the planet, whether it's the air, the elements, the gravitational field, the energy here. So even though as a civilization, it may be perceived as hybrid, you're still more adaptable to be on the planet. There may be also some of the advanced intergalactic groups who may have lost over time their connection to the supreme infinite source creator. They lost their contact with either empathy, compassion, emotion capacity, or something has happened at evolution in their physiology or on a genetic level, in spite of their immense intelligence and advancement on other aspects. There's something almost like a spark that is missing, and their DNA has either come to an halt or is no longer evolving, or it feels like there's some missing component. And then what they do is that through soul contract, even though it's no longer remembered during the incarnation, but through soul contract in agreement, then a group of these interstellar beings may interact with another species like the humans and create a subrace of hybrid, but those hybrids are designed to live with the original star family. They were never designed to live on the planet, like on the Earth, for example. And we have that here with the Zeta groups and others. But there's always a great purpose behind it. Yes, we understand. I know, Father stepping me on the shoulder. There is also some been genetic manipulation and experiment done at different levels. You have to think about every soul who return to this quadrant or this plane of reality, understand the implication of what they've come to experiment. So we're going to really invite everyone to release the fear or feeling powerless, or the anger, resentment, or the unknown factor around the word hybrid, because there's so much more. The design is very vast, very deep. So leading up to me, I'm a prototype of my kind. Why? Because I am very conscious that the hybrid aspect of myself is my physical form. I am a nocturnal being. My body is a hybrid. So my body was carefully engineered through the advanced holographic technology and much more of the Arcturians. And we also have received assistance from the Andromedan, which is partially why I'm so close to them. It's one of the reasons, but it's a very advanced level of conscious assisted technology that create a template, and that's my vessel. And I consciously chose that way so that I can retain the full aspect of being a nocturne being, and at the same time being in a vessel or a physical conduit that will look like the species that I am living with or among, and being able to function as much as possible on the planet of where I am being of service of. It's very unusual for us to do that. We usually retain our full Arcturian avatar self, and we project instead our holographic light consciousness that may appear to you as real, as consistent as meeting someone face to face, but we're not really on the planet. We are in a holographic light body consciousness. That's usually the route we take. But we understood that the pushback within the dark light polarity energy will give us too much pushback and will be not as effective as if one of us directly embody the completeness of being a nocturian, but in simply a, let's say, a specialized vessel. And that's how the word hybrid applies to me. So in that sense, which is why I say my body is a prototype. And that makes sense.
Okay, so in Sheila and Barbara Lamb's most recent book, they are talking about hybrids that were perhaps tinkered with in the womb or other things where the ET-DNA was inserted. Do you know anything from that higher perspective about anything like that going on?
Oh, yes, yes. It's usually done by different intergalactic civilization who choose to do that. Again, the soul will receive those add-on or enhancement. It's usually done to support the soul in their mission, whether the original vessel or the body was constructed by the union of two humans. They're still born the traditional human way, but they're just going to have enhanced component or different genetic markers that may be designed to awaken along the journey of that soul to really support. There's beautiful intergalactic group that still chooses to use either markers or they will have some kind of implants to follow their people on the planet because they know that even though they were born as human being, they are the star seed or a certain form of hybrid on the planet, but on behalf of their group, on behalf of a council, on behalf of something bigger. But again, it's to understanding is what is the purpose, what is done for, what is the agreement behind it. And of course, if you look at this kind of hybrids, it will never be the same way as a being or a hybrid that is constructed directly from a star family, let's say one of the zetas with a human, and that child or these children live on the vessel. That has nothing to do with in the wound, my mom received recitation and it was adding on aspect in my DNA, some codons, maybe some light codes. The difference is huge. We can't classify them under the same label as hybrid.
Okay, that's a great answer. And I think it helps clarify for people. And so how would someone know if they were a hybrid? Because when I was reading Sheila's book, what I will tell you is like, I know that I was tinkered with in the womb. I actually was born a month late and I came out only 6 pounds, 8 ounces. So it wasn't like I was overcooked or anything. And the information that I got was that they were modifying my body so it could actually physically be here on Earth easier. But throughout my whole childhood, I was really sick. I had a lot of ailments, and it took up until about age 28 for my body to normalize out. And I'm curious about that, but I'm also curious from your experience of being in this human physical form, running that Arcturian energy, like how that was for you in your childhood as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. And thank you for sharing about yourself. I can see that your group has done that to really supporting you and even at the soul level adapting. So they're giving you, let's say, extra support, extra material, so to speak, to anchor you better right in the planetary consciousness. And that's part of the great challenge for many, many star seed is how to fully adapt with what we call the human holographic consciousness and adapting also on the planet. So each planet has their own elemental system. They each have their own, way ecosystem. So when you enter a particular ecosystem, I can appreciate why for you it will be so different from what you originally remember as in your your galactic form that they did that to support you. So that was a beautiful gift that you received. That is really awesome. Again, because my body is a prototype, and we realized later on that the challenges are really great, even at this stage of my life, at this stage of my age. So of course we have not repeated the same performance, so to speak. So if you want to send one of our own, it will be more to the star seed phenomenal, and then maybe in the wound as necessary, there may be additional anchor point to help, just like you received. So I was not typically born on, like you understand it, born to the wound or to go through the birth canal and all of it. I have no trauma, no memory of this whatsoever. It was done differently. So I came about on my Arcturian fathers. He's the commander in charge of a huge mothership. So we have all of our state-of-the-art technology and medical facility and our healing chambers. So when the time came, this is how I came about first. And then I was reintroduced into my generational timeline, and I was returned to the planet as a form of a baby. The first 3 months was non-successful. The immune system was failing, the digestive system was not responding, and I couldn't retain absolutely zero nutrients whatsoever. So the physical body was dying. I was completely on my way out. And so we had to do something because otherwise the mission would have failed a long, long time ago. And I would just be returning into my Arcturian self and interact remotely with the earth and having our point of contact. So when I was brought back to my Arcturian fathership, and there was other thing going on, and so they were able to adjust the vessel. It was make some modification. I was some adds on, and then I re-entered the body and then came back again. And then finally the body started to stabilize, and I was getting stronger and slowly, because the digestive system, the digestive system, the immune system, and the lung systems have always been a really big issue. So it's been a very slowly work in progress, and my body was developing slowly over time. And just like you, it was only when I reached my 30s that my body was starting to feel a bit much stronger and more aligned. Now it's different because I overextended the age of the body. Have already overextended it. So I'm super due for another upgrade like they did when I was a baby. So I am patiently waiting for this upgrade to take place because my body is going, oh, we're going into overtime here. So when I go the upgrade, I'll be able to better be in sync with the next phase of the planetary changes. There's a lot of movement in the timeline, especially the next 3 years with the cosmic gateway. It's very much we're ushering ourselves into the higher ascension timeline. So it's an ongoing, how could I say that, maintenance process. It's I watch here what I do, how my body's been handled, making sure that, when I'm in public, nobody come and slap me too hard or push me on the side and can injure my body without consciously be aware of it. Or, if I travel a lot in the, airplane with the the compression of the pressurizing of the cabin affects me greatly. Then I go, and then I need a lot of assistance, and I was brought on back the ship, and then they upgrade the body, and I come back again. So it's going to be like this as long as I'm on the planet, and I know that. It's a choice also I made to stay and to continue. My mission is not done by far, and we are at a momentum on the planet which is greater than my physical needs. And so it's a beautiful, like, think of it as a dance. Okay, if you visualize that for a moment, it's a beautiful dance. It's an exchange, and so my Australians group and others are also assisting us with that. I have a group assist to me, a very specialized group of beautiful sentient beings, and of course on a celestial as well. So I have a lot of assistance. It's just that, yes, it's very interesting. It's a very rich and colorful journey.
Beautiful. Well, so let's talk about this concept of all timelines are existing simultaneously at the quantum level,
Yes.
right? We have
Mhm.
infinite Earth timelines happening right now here too.
Yes.
And there are a lot of us that have been called here at this time to help with the shifting of the ascension to the highest timeline potential.
Yes.
And then there are others that are here to experience that polarized, fear-based reality and to stay.
Yes.
And so I would love for you, from your perspective, to share what this ascension looks like and what advice you would give to the humans here that might want to be a part of that reality as opposed to staying in the politics and the polarization. If you can speak to that.
Oh, absolutely, Lisa. I love the direction, because talking about there's multiple timelines, so potential of timelines and how everything is really unfolding into the now. It's allowing everyone to reconnect with their multidimensional self and start to really discover more and more and beyond this, very convincing life and personality and senses and what you see, what you think to the mind, know, relate to. And all these concepts are designed to allow your soul to experience all of it, as long as there's just a beginning of recognizing on a conscious level that you are so much more. So Octrines, one of the faculties that we have, it's our abilities to perceive a multitude of lifetimes or timelines all at once. So if we look at the Earth, you can see that the Earth of the past, or even in the original concept, we can still remember how the planet came about, and then the different evolution of Gaia. But to really focus more on the essential, I would say right now there's three main timelines. The lower timeline, that was a destruction of the planet scenario, the doom and gloom, that the planet will explode, this is it, nuclear war, it's game over, we're going to become another Maldek situation. And we say, oh, no, 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 no. No, the Earth, if we're going to deviate, we're going to work with you. And those who are very conscious on the planet, like yourself and everyone watching, we're going to help to release yourself from that doom and doom scenario. So you're no longer there. That's completely gone. It still exists, yes, but we're no longer there. The middle timeline is where we are more predominantly right now. The middle timeline is there's still density. There's sometimes more of a mentalized approach to spirituality, curiosity about UFO, want to see the whistleblower, space program, AI intelligence. We want to see the technology of the ET so we can heal ourselves, and all of this belief system right there on the middle timeline. And we see that a lot in MUFON conference or meeting, again, with respect. That's okay, just an observation. And UFO conferences like Contact in the Desert or others, they have chosen to embrace more because it feels more familiar. It's less, I would say, intimidating. And it sounds also safer, more familiar. So that is the timeline. And right now, the middle timeline, I would say, feel almost seductive because it almost sounds familiar, safe, There seems to be a lot of answers, a lot of information. It's opening up. I want to know my galactic origin. What is the galactic history? Show me the truth. But it's the overflow of the mentalized information process. And that middle timeline, to your point, Lisa, there are souls, a group of souls on the planet who've come to experience that. They can be, let's just say that in their advanced timeline or a future aspect of themselves, they understood that something missed out, or they went too far, or they miscreated because consciousness or technology was going faster than the consciousness, or things like that. And they come back to the middle timeline to re-understand certain karmic implication. And the souls involved with that middle timeline are still evolving. It's all about soul evolution, ultimately. It really, really is. What is your soul needs to evolve. Now, to us, we may say, well, there are other ways to evolve. Allow us to show you and see, if you feel ready for this. But that middle timeline is the one we see right now. There's going to be a branch, and that's going to be a continuation of a more third density, fragmented dualistic energy in a paradigm that will go on. And we saw that branch already. I see that also in conferences with speakers are very pushing the blanket towards AI, and it's just going to be, the next human being. And I said to you, do you really want to become a robotic version of a human being? This has never been the true nature of human beings. You're compassionate, your capacity for love, your living aura, the energy you emanate. This is why there's so many star beings or interdimensional beings coming to see you, because of those natural faculties. It's what creates your energy, the direct connection to the supreme infinite source or the prime creator, all there is. There's a uniqueness there. And we, Octurans and other enlightened beings, we recognize that. So again, it's about soul evolution. And then there's the higher timeline, what we call the organic higher timeline for ascension. Ascension is allowing you to return in a state of recognition, you embracing your soul-body connection, you embracing the divine eternal part of my I am presence with this human experience. I'm embracing my galactic roots. I am embracing all of these multi-branches that makes my soul design so unique, and how you can utilize these multiple branches of unique expression to express your gifts, your abilities, your soul calling. I want to be a healer. Okay, what does it mean to you? What is the energy behind it? What is your soul passion, your heart calling to accomplish, and for what purpose? And what are you serving? So these are really the energy that you can really start to cultivate. Start to cultivate more benevolence thought form, benevolence communication, benevolence emotions towards yourself. Please, once be gentle with yourself, be compassionate. I made a mistake. Okay, I'll tell you what my father always says, my Octane father. He tapped me on the shoulder and he says, what have you learned? And what would you do differently from that point on? He asked me a question, I don't know how many times in this lifetime. There's sometimes I have explored the dark side because I was curious to understand what they were about. And then he would pull me back. He would go, where do you think you're going? What are you learning? What will you do differently? So allow yourself to integrate the lessons, the wisdom, extracting the wisdom from it, and being able to cultivate that and grow and expand. The choice is very clear. It's going to be a soul individual choice and a global planetary choice. From a planetary perspective, what we can say is that the consciousness of the celestial being you call the Earth or Gaia has clearly chosen. She is going completely back in her original divine celestial self. She's going that way. That's Gaia. Shifting completely in embracing, and she's moving up in the higher organic timeline. We say the word organic because it's more natural, it's divine, it's really a soul connection. It has nothing to do to plug you on a machine or having, chip frequency to put on your cell phone. They're going to make you enlightened. none of that. It's really about understanding what is your path and honoring yourself, honoring those in your family that may be part of the soul group who may need to go through the third density or the middle timeline. But one way or another, those souls will be allowed to evolve well beyond the capacity of this scenario here. It's going to go beyond this physical incarnation. It's going to go beyond the earth ascension of the solar system here and all of it. So just be confident with love and hold your loved ones and others in the highest light, understanding their divine self, understand what they're doing. There's a plan for them. They're moving forward in their own ways. And I know sometimes it's very challenging to recognize and understand, how can they think that way? How can they not perceive? It's almost like we're coexisting in two timelines next to each other, right? And you go, well, I'm right here, can't they see? And I call that an invisible filter. And sometimes they're unable to see you. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I've gone through that a lot. I can see be in a crowd or be sitting in a room and, oh, I was unable to see you. I know, because my frequencies are in a different oscillation than you are. So you're unable to perceive. But eventually those souls will be allowed to evolve. It really is. Can you feel that in your heart when we say that?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, that's been my experience as well. And
Yes.
so, and I love what you said, because so I've only lived here in Hawaii for 4 years, 4 months. And when I got here, that's when my activations really started amping up, because I was in a protective bubble, I feel like. And that's when I also allowed my full authentic self to come forward, because I was hiding in my other form back in Washington State. And so, and it also was me realizing when I met the Arcturians in October of 2018, that the one that was in front of me was me, that I was, that Uluru is me. And then when the other groups wanted to start coming through me, that those were me as well. So we really are multidimensional. And I know a lot of people like that our starseeds like to kind of pigeonhole themselves or group themselves into, well, I'm an Arcturian starseed, or I'm a Pleiadian starseed, and we're all of it. And from your perspective, like fully embodying your Arcturian, what would you say to that? Because you are being a representative of the Arcturians here on Earth. And so for those that like the label or the grouping, what would you say to that?
I would say lovingly that everything serves a purpose. It's helping you to understand how in your soul construct or your soul blueprint, what we call a soul design, how have you chosen to serve the creator? So if for you, for example, you say, I can feel in my heart and my roots that I am a starseed, a Pleiadian starseed, well, embrace that, because we feel that's going to lead the way to rediscovering the different aspect, the different facet of your being. And so I know that there's some, and I do respect that, some school of belief or philosophy that says, well, if you only focus on your galactic origin, you know, you're kind of missing out or disconnecting yourself from your divine self. And we say it's the one and the same. But if the pathway of recognizing first, then I can declare with certainty, with self-confidence, self-love, and self-worth, that I am, for example, a starseed from the Pleiadian group. And it can open up, unlock aspect of your soul akashic records. And then the way we see it is exploring your soul ancestry like a tree of life. If your roots, you can feel that you identify your roots, how they serve you in this particular incarnation, and then it builds up the foundation to allow to explore the full spectrum of your inner tree of soul ancestry. So for example, again, roots in the Pleiadian, your heart can be also very connected to Andromeda, and you start to discover multiple branches of connections and how they serve you in this life, whether it's Arcturian, whether it's the very ancient Zeta, whether it's from those of Tau Ceti or others, or even on the angelic realm level. Well, when you start to really embody the other branches of connection, can you say that now, can we expand it even further in recognizing that your soul, your tree of soul ancestry is divine by nature? So for us, we prefer that approach to allow this rediscovery, that self-discovery, like a journey. Like I am really claiming and I am owning that I am a nocturne being. I also understand that I have another part of myself that has no label, no human, no hybrid, no nocturnes, no Andromedan. I'm just a pure consciousness of the supreme source. I know because I met that part of myself. And I was given a choice a few years ago to leave this physical incarnation reality and return into pure consciousness. So I would have left my Octane delegation altogether as well. And we do have beings who come to us, or Octanes have been with us for 1,000 years and plus, and they choose to release themselves and move on to the next phase of their soul journey. So again, I have a very different perspective. I see that beyond labels. I see as an opportunity to get in tune, to understand who you are from this lifetime perspective, and how are you serving the creator that way.
Okay, yeah, beautiful answer. And I think
Thank you.
that would speak to a lot of people's understanding and questions they might have.
Yes.
So is there any kind of activation or healing or message that you would like to do for the audience?
What a lovely idea. I love your energy, Lisa, and you and I are really flowing so well together. Yes, right. And I love the energy and the enthusiasm of Susie. She's being like cheering up and applauding and the energy. So thank you again for that. I'm very sensitive. I observe a lot.
Yes, you do.
So yes, I do. It's part of my true nature. We observe to understand and decode. That's why we do it. So what I would like to do, with everyone's permission in your heart, is just opening for a moment a gentle holographic space, and bring also an aspect of sharing who we are to our soul essence energy, and to share that with all of you, if that's okay. Yes, perfect. It's going to be very refreshing, uplifting. Everything that we do is designed to help you to empower, remembering fully who you are, embracing the energy, and really fulfilling the best lifetime you may have had in a long time. And it's your time right here, right now. So thank you for making yourself comfortable. If you sit down, we always recommend feet on the ground, keeping your legs and feet uncrossed to open your body energy pathways. And thank you for closing your eyes just for a moment. And let's just concentrate on the sacred movement of your lungs, to feel the breath of life flowing through your lungs, expanding your lung systems, relaxing also your diaphragm, relaxing also the energy expanding to your rib cage. A lot of stress there. Just feel this a gentle and loving expansion taking place, welcoming a greater flow of oxygen. Oxygen shifts into energy, and energy is light. Just feel how much light is flowing through you right now, nourishing all of your body internal systems, including your nervous systems, the hormonal system, relaxing and releasing the cortisol level in your body. And as you keep breathing, we also invite you to feel the flow opening through your spine as a sacred energy conduit. So allow the spinal flow to take place all the way to the pelvic area, relaxing also your lower back, all the way to the tailbone. Your tailbone is your antenna, is your connectors to the earth or the planet, a grid network. And from the planet, a grid system, back to your spine, and even pass through your crown chakra into the universal systems. Just feel this wonderful energy. It feels a very grounding and loving presence, elevating, refreshing. It is a complete reset. Just keep reading. Complete mental, emotional, and physical reset. Return to 0 point, neutrality for integration. Excellent. Just keep reading. Let the flow continue normally, a little deeper and slower. Now that we have established the energetic flow, your internal connections, the mind, the heart, with your body, with the planet, we're going to gently open now what we call the Arcturian holographic field. It is beyond time and space, and it vibrates at a higher rate. So just feel gently that you start to vibrate from inside out a little faster than usual. Just to feel that your own vibratory stage start to shift and accelerate a little bit, allowing yourself to free your conscious energy or your mind from the physical or the physical reality. And we invite you to start to feel that you're elevating into your light body consciousness. It is through light body consciousness that you can more effectively communicate with us. Just keep breathing, let everything flow. You are in a very safe and protected holographic space. And as a group of us from our Arcturian delegation who has agreed to connect with you right now, we can feel also the presence of our star brothers and sisters of Andromeda. They're holding the space on a whole different level to really support this gentle light transmission, just to feel that we are sharing our soul essence with you, the soul essence of the genuine aspect of the Arcturians. We are masters of light, master healers, master of the holographic technology, and advanced mental faculties. Our quantum signature is pure love. Just feel as we are sharing right now the unique Arcturian quantum signature in the form of pure love. You can feel through the words we speak, there's many of us speaking to one conduit through the ambassador right here. Allowing yourself to breathe, to connect through your heart, and to feel and recognize what is the true Arcturian quantum signature. And when you are in the presence of us, we are unique. And allowing that beautiful exchange to uplift you, helping you to feel more confident, releasing any form of doubts, lower step down frequencies like anxiety, any form of fear dissolved immediately in the presence of our quantum signature, helping you to enhance the connection within yourself, your own intuitive centers, that aspect of your higher self or your divine I am presence, helping also your body conduit to readapt and naturally readjust to higher light frequencies, vibrancy, balance, and inner equilibrium, helping you to recenter to your internal core, connecting you to your crystalline core within the middle point of your solar plexus, the chakra, and to the interface of your heart center. And remember that we have been around and watching this quadrant and the evolution of life on this planet for thousands of years. We see you and your true light. We invite you to see yourself and also your true light. Let's just stay with us as you keep reading, feeling our presence. We help you. We are placeholders, so to speak. We are an example of a future potential for humanity. We're here to support the natural organic evolution of humanoid life in the presence of many other sentient life forms' intelligence. It is time for all of you to step forward and rise to the occasion of this lifetime that is unique in every shape and form. And as we keep exchanging and sharing our quantum signature with you, we ask if we, star beings existing well beyond your scope of reality, can perceive you in the truth of your light, when will you be able to see your own self in the truth of your light? Let's take a deep breath and release. And as we're releasing the holographic field, we invite you to feel and see you returning in full awareness, reintegrated into your body, refreshed, and with more joy. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, welcome back.
Wow, that was incredible. And I can feel the release of energy from my eyes.
Oh, I
as
like that.
well. And what you described as that pure love, what I will say is that when I first, again, consciously met the Arcturians in this life, that's exactly the experience I had. It was the most pure love I have ever felt, more so than anything here on this earth. And so thank you for bringing that to us.
You are most welcome. Most welcome. I always follow the guidance, and when we come is, even though you can hear my voice, but I can assure you this, many of us come and harmonize themselves. That's part of why my physical form was engineered in a certain way, so that I can sustain and hold really high level of frequencies all at once. So I'm allowing my beautiful group to become one and speak through that one vehicle of my body. Well, sometimes I feel our body because we're shared together. But this really is the blend. I can hold the many consciousness of many of us all at once, and how they speak forward. You can hear there's a tone, there's a frequency, there's an energy that is very different, that we can feel like it's Viviane talking. And I can feel like the human part of me talking. It's really different. So the gift, when they come together today, they really wanted to share an aspect of who we really are. Because the thing about us, the Arcturians, a lot has been written or talked about. Oftentimes, a lot of it as well is misinterpretation of our essence. So this is why when we have an opportunity to share through an experiential transmission or a meditation like this one, we give always an opportunity to share who we really are, so you can start to feel, like you mentioned, Lisa, in your heart and your being. So sometimes we have seen so many times other beings coming through and impersonating or pretending to be Arcturians, and they're not. And of course, I will see that right away. But there's a difference very much palpable in the way they speak, the frequencies, the way they also have some behavioral pattern behind it. And so we thought we love to share truly who we are and in what capacity we can do this. So that's why I'm very grateful to physically being able to facilitate those transmissions.
Yes. Well, okay. So that I know we are running out of time here, but I think this is a really important question for me to ask. Because we've had this conversation before, but for people who are listening to channelers and these entities coming through, how do they discern what is of impersonation versus what is authentic from that frequency?
I'm going to answer the question with, if I may share a real life experience I went through. Okay. If I
Please.
can do it, you can do it. You would say, what, Viviane, you are who you are. Okay. It's true. But at the same time, you hold the same capacity. So I want to clear that right away. You do hold the same capacity. So once in a while, because I'm a very curious being, and I get myself in trouble for that sometime, and my group knows about my curiosity. Once in a while, I'm going to allow or accept someone to do a reading on me, whether it's a channel reading, whether it's from a group consciousness or Elohim or whatever they want to call it. And that's fine. Everybody has their gifts, and I honor that. So without saying any names, because that's not the goal, but one time I went on Zoom like this, and with a gentleman says, I channel a group of advanced beings, and it can be angelic, it can be intergalactic, it can be Elohim, all of it. I say, okay. And it started to feel, so at first it felt genuine. It felt interesting. There was good information. Okay, I'm going to use that word on purpose here as a placeholder. And then as I'm hooked in, so to speak, and I'm really start to open up myself more, that's what I saw, that it was attempting to enter my field. And I will tell you, word forward, what they told me. They said, oh, you don't really know who you are, aren't you? And I went, up on what capacity? Well, let's just say that you are like Frankenstein. You are a patches of, yeah, thank you, Susie. She went like this. You're like a patches of different aspects. And then it went on and on and on. And at that moment, I knew that whoever was talking to me were a being of a lower frequency, and the intention, because I felt in my heart, it was to hurt me and to bring doubts about who I am. And I said, thank you. I went like, enough. I put my foot down. I said, I know who I am, but now I know also who you are. So thank you for that. Thank you for the lesson I've learned today. Oh, good. I'm glad you learned your lesson. Oh, I say on more level than you realize. And that was the end of the story. Needless to say, I never talked to this person again. And in any shape, form, capacity, that person eventually moved out of state on top of that. So in that sense, at first, it may sound good what they're telling you. It may sound, it relate to you, what you've been feeling. And then there's good information. And then it starts to make you feel like, oh, it makes me feel doubt. There's something in my heart. My stomach feels weird. Something is shifting. Listen to your body shifting. Listen to your chakra. Listen to that nudge or that inner gut feeling that tells you something is off. And so if you feel like you're unable to either stop that session or to put your foot down and says, you know what, I need nothing more. I got all the answers. Thank you for the wisdom. Mentally in your heart, you can ask the being, whatever who's talking to you, ask, are you here for the highest light? Are you serving my highest and greatest good? Reveal yourself to me. If utilizing something like this with your authority, claiming your I am presence in the name of my light, of my divine light. Beings or group of beings who are attempting to plant seeds in your field, manipulate your subconscious, and all of this, they will no longer be able to do that. So that what I would recommend. Because yes, I
No,
will-
no,
right?
great advice, and continue. What are your train of thought?
No, it's just remember that you have an authority about you. It's not because you're going to a channel information or an Akashic record reading, or there's somebody else telling you something that's supposed to be about you. Ask always, how much of this pertains to who I am today? And is it for serving my highest and greatest good? Is it coming from the highest and the most powerful light? And you have the right to really put these higher intuitive, conscious discernment filters to release, even though it sounds good like information. I never relate myself to an information. I prefer to relate to a profound, real experience with wisdom and knowledge that will really inspire me for, to go on my journey. So again, the distinctiveness here of how you feel, how your body is reacting. So pay attention. You're never obligated to absorb and accept everything somebody else is telling you because they're a medium or they're channeling angels or they're doing this and doing that. Believe me, I've done that even sitting at panel next to other speakers where somebody one day put her hand on my lap and blinking her eyes. She was not flirting with me. She was trying to infiltrate my field. And I have to go under the table and release her hand and go, And there was a big audience, the room was packed, and there's a moderator, and everything is filmed, and I have to do something about this. So again, take your power back. It's about you. What do you need? I call upon my light. I call upon my guides. In the name of my I am presence, access deny and no longer accept that in my field. Never take anything for face value. Ask your heart wisdom, connect. But again, self-trust, self-worth, self-confidence. It comes down to those three keys.
Beautiful. Sarah, I know we're over. Can we take Quantum Doug's question, or do we need to pause?
Let's go ahead and take the question, and then we will probably have to pause, but yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so Doug wants to know, can you give us any hope how the Galactic Council is helping us overcoming the cruelty in the current US government leaders?
I would simply say release yourself from utilizing those words and remembering your power. The Galactic Councils, because there are many, by the way, the Galactic Councils need your authority and your partnership and your collaboration in order to work in synergy. So there's no savior, there's no victim, and I will really lovingly recommend that you release those words from your vocabulary, from your field, from your mindset. We have very different perspective on the matter. Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be complete for tonight. What do you think?
I do. So can you share how people can find you?
Oh, thank you. Of course. So as Sarah so graciously introduced us earlier, I am the founder of the Arcturian University. We are the one and only. And the Arcturian University is a sanctuary for advanced, beautiful, spiritual, cosmic, ancient teaching, self-mastery, gathering community experience. We also have the universal consciousness community. We have members from all over the world. Our offerings are really here to support and helping you to move forward in understanding what the word self-mastery and enlightenment already is as a conscious bridge. And again, everything is a matter of perspective. It's a matter of what timeline of reality you wish to manifest, hold on to, be justified from. You have every right to feel the way you are. It's just a matter that we are here for the higher organic timeline. as opposed to feet, the lower timeline that we're in right now. So very much different connections, and understand from all over the world. There are light workers everywhere around the planet. I work with people from everywhere, like you, Lisa. And so the Octane University, we offer amazing. We also have our monthly Octane holographic group healing. And eventually we're going to be launching also for members what's called the Octane's mentorship support group. Going to be something we're going to be launching very soon. And I'm going to have my first documentary coming up soon as well. It's in the making. Yay, my very first. I am tired to wait on people to make me offer. And sometimes they come, they work with me, and then they ghost me, and then the project goes in file 13. So thank you so much for that. And yes, once the time comes, I will make the announcement for the documentary.
Okay, and your website.
Yes, all in one place. It is called Infinite Healing from the Stars.com. Infinite Healing from the Stars. We have the Octarian welcome page on this. You can click on it. We also have our podcast. Lisa was also a guest on our podcast. We have also monthly free meditation series, including the Star Seed series. And we do a lot. And yes, thank you so much also, Jason. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Lisa, thank you for this lovely invitation.
Thank
I
you.
honor you.
Thank you so much for being here with us and always sharing your breadth of wisdom from those higher dimensional realms and the love. And you are the real deal.
Lisa, that means a lot coming from you. Oh my goodness, you just make my night and my day. And I'm so grateful for all of you watching. Things are shifting. I'm telling you, the pendulum swing went very far in one part. We're moving into the other one. So we're coming back into our point of integration. Really much so. Stay in your light. As we said, that's a philosophy of our university. Stay in your light. See beyond the grand design. There's so much more, I can assure you. Everywhere around the world, things are shifting momentumly, and you are part of that new design. So return to your light, return to your strength, return to your beautiful energy and who you are. And we're in this together. Together. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Viviane, and thank you, Lisa, and thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Sheila will be back as well. So have a lovely evening.